Hi, this is Chris with RVMP with the 2800E generator, and today's video is going to be showing you a little bit about the inverter and how to make some repairs or replacements to your inverter in the generator. Now, before we get started, it is important to mention that doing this yourself, doing a DIY replacement or fixing of your inverter will void your warranty on it. So if you don't feel totally entirely confident, no shame in going to a RVMP service provider and having a professional do it that way. In fact, we would encourage you to do so because this is one of the more complicated and in-depth replacements that you can really do in these generators. So we would recommend getting it taken into a professional, but if you do want to do it yourself, just know that will void your warranty. The first thing to cover is the fact that the inverter is what takes the raw power and electricity produced by the generator engine itself and converts it into energy that is safe to use for your appliances, things like microwaves, air conditioning, stuff like that. That is the primary role of the inverter, and that is going to be this big piece right here. Now, as you'll notice, there are dozens of bolts both on the top and sides of this inverter. So what you're going to do is you're going to undo all of these bolts. That will, of course, loosen it from the frame and make it so that it's easier to work on and remove. There also are some wires and hoses and stuff towards the front of the inverter, such as these connectors you can see right here. You're going to want to try and separate the inverter from those, and we would recommend taking a picture of everything before you disassemble so that you do have a reference of what connects to what, so you can get everything back in the proper position. But yeah, go ahead and unconnect your wiring and your hoses, and then unbolt all of these bolts on the side, on the top. Try and disconnect it from everything that you can. After you do that, you should be clear to remove this inverter out of the gen. And if you have a new inverter to replace it with, that is the point where you would then put that inside, re-bolt, rewire, and that will do it. Once again, we do want to say that we recommend having a trained professional, trained member of a service team do this for you, as it is a little bit more in depth and there's a little bit more that can go wrong. But with that being said, that is how you switch out your inverter on your 2800E generator.